Okay, we first had Miss Violet come back when I think she was 99 years old, so like about 4 years ago. I saw her again up at Silver Dollar City this year. Was that her 52nd year? Is that right? Yeah,
53rd.
53rd year.
Fall Festival.
Yeah, up at the Fall Festival. So it occurred to me, since I am no longer going to be doing programs next year, I should go out the bang. So I thought, well, I'll just see if Miss Violet will come out at nighttime. And I'm impressed with her fan club.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So, you know, I describe her as a treasure because she's a real treasure for our area. We're very lucky to have her.
They are.
And we're so lucky to have her tonight. So there's Miss Violet.
Here she is. You want to get the silver tape?
Yes. We brought
Just move that microphone around any way you need to make it amplify.
Yeah, we'll put it.
I think she can probably talk pretty loud.
She doesn't talk quite as loud as she used to. This is some of your fiddle making things that you can talk to them about. We'll kind of tell you and kind of do your discussion. How's that?
Thank
Yeah.
you. I was gonna move it anyway, but I can just bend it a
No,
little
I'm
bit.
really here for it, but I'll find out.
That's okay. We're gonna tell her what she's here for.
Okay. Y'all can guide her.
I think they just kind of like to look at you.
Excuse me.
I'm sitting right here.
You can tell she likes her name and her color. She does love the color purple. And I think God gave her the right name. There we go.
You take the brace off of that sides.
I am putting it right back on, just like that.
We brought a few of her fiddle making things in case you,
So she could talk about them for you. There you go.
there's your knives.
A Barlow pocket knife. That's a Marlow.
She had quite a collection. I don't know what the top number was, but she's got many grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-greats, and she has a great-great-great who's about 2.5 years old.
And actually, too, I mean, there are.
This
Oh,
one,
yeah, do
I just
that.
had to do that.
She's got the records.
this one I was cleaning the house for a lady, and they'd moved out. The folks moved out, and the woman at the housewoman to clean the house found this in the windows, pocket knife, long time ago. It's got one little bitty tiny blade in, but it's usable.
"32 grands, 72 great-grands, 17 great-great-grands, and 1 great-great-great." This one is a great-great-great. No, great-great, sorry. I get my greats all mixed up. 2 greats.
Who you got over there?
Kara.
Yep,
Yep.
all right, that's, I don't know, the daughter calls her motor mouth. I call her KJ, because her name's Kara Jade, I call her KJ.
Okay, do you wanna tell them about your jig, Mom, and how you make the fiddles and?
Oh yeah, this is mine. Well, called it, my dad made fiddles, and he called that a rim press. What it is you bend the sides in there and put them in shape, before you glue them together into a fiddle.
And which fiddle came out of this press?
The first one,
And the
number 1 and number 3
And how old?
was bent that size.
And how old were you?
I was 15 when I made my first one.
15. This piece, you can tell, is different. That's because this piece got lost. But you need that piece in order to hold it all together when you're demonstrating. So these are all originals from her first fiddle and her third fiddle.
And you know what this clamp's called?
C-clamp.
A C-clamp.
Now this is tell them about this piece right here.
What is that piece? Oh, that's, oh,
Now you took it off this time.
it just flip-flop is supposed to have a rubber
That's
band
okay.
over it.
That's all right. Just go ahead and tell them what it is.
That is the beginning of a fiddle. It's called this, well, a lot of the fiddle makers call it the ribs, but I call it the sides.
And tell them how many pieces there are in it.
And you bend these into a frame there, then you glue these corners together, these little blocks, these 4 corners, and there's 6
and-
blocks in there. But there's 24 pieces there in that one assembly right there.
It has these little pieces right here. What do they call
Double
them?
lining.
Double lining, yes, thank you. So there's 6 of these double linings on each side.
And
And
the
that's-
double line is to make it thick enough to glue your top and back to, see, because that's less than 1/16 of an inch thick. And you can't glue, and so the blocks in there gives you some toe hold.
You can tell she came from the country.
That's right. It's all right.
This
Tell
is
us what
the,
type of wood it is.
oh, the types of wood.
What types of wood? Oh, yeah, this is, basswood. No,
No, it's back. I think
that's soft maple.
Yeah.
Soft maple. And this is soft maple sides too.
And here is the neck. That would go in this particular.
That's a hand hook.
Yeah, that's the part you grab and hang on to.
That's the head of the fiddle. They have a head too, you know.
Okay, now, why don't you show them your tools that you use? How about your power saw?
Yeah, that's a real power saw. You look, that's a real saw. Takes power to push and pull it.
There's people taking pictures, so I'll why you tell them about it.
That was from my dad, George Washington Brumley. And he was born in 1874. So this saw is probably over 100 years old.
Well, we're sure of that, since it's.
Yes, we're assured it's over 100 since
Over
she's
100 years old.
103.
And nobody's ever sharpened it but my dad and I.
And how long was it when it was,
The blade,
how long?
Oh,
did
it
you
once
use-
was for about 10 inches long.
and about this wide.
Yeah. And then sharpening, and they use it wears away just like your fingernail wears away if you keep falling on it.
And this she made also as a scabbard or whatever you want to call it to hold it in, to keep it from getting broken and ruined.
Yeah.
Okay, now how about you show them your knives?
Knives. This knife is,
We can leave these here afterward if you need to come up and take pictures.
well, I've got many
Well, not
pocket knives.
necessarily the pocket knives as much as maybe that one right there.
Well, with this one
Curved
here.
knife right there.
This one, well, where's the one my dad made you? Did you bring it?
It's in the box, I think.
It's in that tube? It's a
Oh, it's
curved
in the
knife,
tube, and I
but
don't
this
think
one
it's
is
too
factory
bad.
made.
No, we didn't.
Some other guy in Baltimore, Maryland made these knives.
She
Yeah,
did.
I got
Another
one.
great-great-grandchild packed this for us because we weren't actually physically at the house. And these are not the ones, these are the ones we take with us to demonstrate because they were made by somebody else.
And
And
they're
the
sharp.
tube that's holding the one that her dad made and that she made that we don't want to disappear is in another container and it got left at home. But it's made exactly like this. The handle's a little bit different shape. Somebody had made this one round, and of course, what happens to round things? They roll.
One my dad made was
So
a
it's
little
flat.
longer turn, a little longer curve
Yeah.
up there.
His has just a little bit longer shank on it here.
And we didn't get it.
No, no, it's, it was protected. Tell them about the, okay, that's a thick one. It wasn't the one I asked her to put in, but it's the one she put in. These start at how thick? How thick does this
A
start?
3/4 inch,
Okay.
3/4 of an inch.
And then what do you do to it? What was the first thing you did to them?
Use a hand axe and hew off some on the outside on each end and down in the, and right here in the, like, You can
Hold
take-
that one up and show them how you did it.
you can take the hand axe, hatchet you might call it, and you can curve, chop right in there and kind of round that out with the corner of the axe. If you don't,
If you know what you're doing.
if you gotta think you know what you're doing anyhow.
You better think real hard.
Because if you don't, you'll split it out where you don't want it split out. But I can take an axe and hew that way, turn it this way and hew it this way, and curve that right out in there with a hand axe, hatchet.
And what kind of wood is that one? You never did finish
This
that
is
one,
cedar.
but that's cedar.
No, it's
And
never been put in.
What about this
This
one?
demonstration board, this is spalted maple.
And what is spalting?
You know what, anybody know what spalted wood is?
Spoil.
Good try.
Yeah, what'd she say?
Spoiled.
Yeah, spalted, yeah. That's, you might say that, it's began to decay, began to rot, get too old and it turns colors in there, but it's still solid enough to use it. That's why you call it spalted wood.
It was on its
It begins
deathbed.
to, that's a starting on decay.
Makes a beautiful piece of wood.
Well, I'm not spalted yet.
Let me see. Is she spalted yet? First one I've heard. Okay, now, would you like to hear her play a little bit? We have. Okay, put these back, well, they could just, how about we do them this way?
Just leave them out for a little bit.
Yes, we'll leave them here, because I noticed people are taking pictures, so if we leave them out here and you didn't get the picture you want, you can come right up and just help yourself.
Just take the camera right over top of it and take all the pictures.
Sandy.
Sandy,
Yes,
you
sir.
might tell them, remind them that there's a great book about Violet, you know, her life story, and there's so
Why
many
don't we do
things
that before
about
we start
her
playing?
life was
That's,
100
thank you,
years
Larry.
ago.
This is Larry Bartow. Give him a hand. He's not afraid to speak up.
I,
Yes, Larry Bartow is over there.
yeah, the
Wow.
book is unbelievably fun to read. I mean, who do you know that can hammer weld a wagon rim and go to the creek and shrink it on the wheel? You know, she's done that. She said she could do it better than her dad.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd have some for sale
Do you have
tonight.
some here for sale?
Yes, we have what, a dozen or so? I think we have a dozen
I
or
want
so.
one.
And she
speaking.
helped, the author, co-author, is Randall Franks, and he played in the TV series In the Heat of the Night. He was the sheriff's deputy sheriff, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, and I had been searching and searching for someone who would write a book. Because years ago, many years ago, they sat around the fireplace and they told the story of their families. We don't do that anymore.
I had
Almost
three-year-olds
no
tell
one
me,
does.
I've had three-year-olds tell me I ought to write a book.
Yep.
So I've been working Silver Dollar City, 53 fall festivals.
She had a 10-year-old that followed her down on when she's going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. I thought that was the funniest thing. I happened to be there, and I was so glad. He was going down in the elevator with us. And as we get down to the bottom, they're just talking. She says, I bet you never rode in an elevator with a 100-year-old woman before. He turned around and he looked at her. He said, and you're still walking? Then we thought he was looking at Santa Claus. It was so funny. Anyway, he would call and talk to her for hours.
He was 9 years old.
And she would give him all the information and stuff, and then compile it into this book. And it starts from when she was born on up and some history of her father. And it really is an interesting book. I'm her daughter, but that doesn't make a bit of difference. This is a very interesting book because I love, especially people who like history. I mean, this tells the people's history. It's how people lived through the Depression who didn't know there was one. You know, if you're so poor, you don't. What'd you do with your first nickel you ever had? What'd that guy tell you?
Well, the guy gave me a nickel and I And he said, spin it, so I just took it and flipped it.
You
I'll
spin
never
it,
forget that, I was 5 years old.
but
Said,
this
"Take
has
and
many of her
spin it."
life stories
And I
in
knew
it.
how to spin tops. And I just took it like that and spun it on the.
So she really did spin it. And then we also have CDs. She has 4 CDs, and we have those down here as well. Are you
My
getting-
rap's full and all.
Larry, did you have something else you
Yeah,
wanted to
and
say?
since the book, she's been on the Grand Ole Opry 3
Yes.
times and
Yes.
inducted into the National Fiddle Hall of Fame.
Favorite,
I think he was somewhat responsible for that too.
he was
And
probably a good deal responsible for that, weren't you?
Kinda, yeah.
yes, he was. He was responsible for that. And Sandy was on her way because she had to play the guitar with me.
And she played were you up there and played the jawbone?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so, she played jawbone. That's as far as our fame goes. We're kinda like the fence post that's out there holding, or the door post that's there holding the door. That's as much fame as we get, but you know what, that's
You're even in the
okay.
book though, your pictures and stuff.
Oh, that's true. And there's a wonderful picture on the back. This lady that made this picture right here, Julie Rice, could no longer use a brush, so that was not done with a brush stroke. It was done with her finger. Fingers, fingertip, knuckles, something to do with her hand, made every mark on that. So we asked her if we could put that on the back, because it was 2 artists in one.
Wow.
She had to use like the great big, I don't know how big you'd call it, but it's maybe that wide and maybe that tall, the original,
She
because
painted
she
a
didn't use her
fingernail.
fingers. But when you get a chance, look at the detail that you find in that picture. I was very impressed.
She's not gonna be able to play behind this table.
No, ma'am, she isn't. She's gonna have to show herself out front. We're gonna have to move away from this table, because you and this table.
Oh, you can
won't
move
work.
the table.
Move the table away from her.
Okay, move the table.
It's on wheels.
Well, you know what, it acted older than her a while ago. When I touched it, it started moving, and I said, whoa.
It's on rollers.
I didn't know what it was on, I just know I touched it and it started gyrating. And I thought,
Sandy, are you gonna have more of those books? And
we do have, we've got at least a
no
dozen.
reason you're gonna have more?
Oh, we got a box full of them at home. All you want.
But not,
Is
that good right
10,
here?
15, that's
Is that
fine.
okay?
You know how many a dozen is? You know how,
Test.
you know, I went to school one day, I went in the back door and come out the front. CYXWBUTSRQPONMLKJIHGFDCBA.
Her teacher
Said
said,
that backwards.
That's how I learned the alphabet.
learn the alphabet forward and backwards, so she did.
I learned to make a fiddle when I was 15 years old,
how many have you made, Mom?
73.
Why don't you tell them about this?
No, I never have.
This is my number 4 fiddle.
Put that backwards thing
And
down.
I made it, cut a maple tree for the back, sides, and neck
How'd you cut that tree, Mom?
with my dad or my sister won me. I had 2 sisters, and me and my youngest sister did all the crosscut sawing and chopping axes. We cut the tree down and then sawed off a block and split it and dried the wood by the fireplace.
Wow.
And if you get cut timber in the winter time, it's easy dried. And does anybody in the audience know why?
Because the sap's out of it. The sap's down.
The sap's down, that's right. In the winter time, the sap's down, so your wood dries quick.
Okay, go ahead.
What are we doing here?
Go ahead. Tell the rest of your fiddle about the fiddle.
Now I made this fiddle in 1934, and it's number 4.
Wow.
How old were you?
I was 15 years old. No, I was 17 when I made this one.
Yeah, 70.
I was
15 when you made
when I
your
made my
first.
first one. This one I made in 7, and I got in there, and I didn't go to school much, so I didn't say number 4, I said my 4th. My 4th. So I didn't go very much schoolwork.
But all her fiddles are numbered and labeled inside, so don't let anybody fool you. If it is claimed to be hers, it will be labeled inside.
Got my name and age in 'em.
And what number the fiddle is, and sometimes even what the wood is. But most often just her name, the number, and where it was made.
How long does it take her to make a fiddle?
How long does it take to make a fiddle?
Probably not longer now than it used to though.
Well, it depends on whether you're a beginner or an experienced person.
Well, I think he said you.
If you're a beginner, it might take you a month, but if you're experienced, it might take you 10 or 12 days.
Wow.
That's working
Do you
at
have
it
a
all the
question,
time.
Peggy?
That's working at it all day long. You get up in the morning and go to work before breakfast.
Peggy has a question too, and Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many fiddles have you found and that you own now? And can you tell us the story of the last one that you got?
Oh.
It might
The
be-
story of number 3, I should have brought it to show it to you.
Yes,
The pictures are beautiful. This one has flowers on the front and back, but you can almost not see them anymore. But number 3 has flowers, the same type flowers, and they're in heart shape on the front and the back, and it's the size of this little one that's in the box. It was
Oh.
number
It's a
3.
1/16 size.
Yes. And it can't be played on. It's very fragile because she made it for who?
Ludi Driggers,
And who was Ludi Driggers?
girl I went to school with,
Yes, and how old were you when you made it?
15,
17. Because
17.
it was in July 1934,
Yeah,
and this one was
17,
made
yeah,
in
just-
August
It's
1934.
just before this one.
A month before. It was not played and made for playing, it was made to hang on Ludi Drigger's wall. And that's where it hung until she died. And then she passed it to her daughter, who passed it to her daughter, so the granddaughter had it. Her name was Judy Gilliman. Judy Gilliman went to a restaurant in Hot Springs, and her favorite waitress that she always asked for about the 6 months she'd been there and had been going there, always kept her updated on her great-great-grandmother and everything her great-great-grandmother was doing. And said, Grandma told her name, Violet Hensley, she's here and there and everything. And then her husband told her to clean out her bedroom, and in the closet was her grandmother's fiddle. And she knew it was made in the same area around Hot Springs. So she told her husband, she said, what if our fiddle, my fiddle, was made, she knew it was handmade, what if they signed it too? We might know who made my fiddle. So she picks it up and looks in it. She said, oh my, it says Mary Violet Brumley. What if it's the same Violet?
No.
So they start looking online and sending a text message to our great-great-niece, and sure enough, it was Mother's Fiddle number 3. And that was just before she went to be inducted in Tulsa. It's like on a Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday. And the next Tuesday, that fiddle was sitting in her home. Isn't that the sweetest thing?
We should have brought it.
And she traded her the fiddle for something. She traded it for a quilt.
Yes, yes. When it was made, Ludi made a quilt and traded it for the fiddle that Mother made. And of course, the quilt was used and
We're
is
out.
long since gone, but the fiddle was still hanging on her wall. So that was pretty cool.
And her dad made fiddles and traded for things he needed from Naples, you know, a shotgun or.
And she figures he made somewhere around 200. She doesn't know exactly because he didn't number his or label them except to put maybe George Washington Brumley in them or Wash Brumley. So that's how, the only way you could identify
He
his.
put it in his by pencil, made by G.W. Brumley.
Yeah, G.W. Brumley or Wash.
Do you have any of those, any of his?
We have 3, I think it is. We have the one that was made for Marvin, the one you got in Oklahoma, and where was the other one? Oh, it was down around Sisters, wasn't it? That you got it back from.
Yeah.
From a guy down around
And you
there.
don't know where the rest of them are then?
Well, we've had some that came in weird ways. Tell about your latest one, how it managed to come to you.
Grandpa's got another one down in the Mount
Oh, yes, there is another one. Grandpa has one that's a 16th size, isn't it, Mother? Or 8th?
It's a 1/8 size.
1/8 size. And it's in the museum in Mount Ida, Arkansas, which is right the area where they were born and raised, both of them. So it's down there.
Mount Ida was the county seat of Montgomery County where I was born.
Do we have enough time for her to tell how her last fiddle came to
Oh,
her?
yeah.
Okay, tell it real quick.
I had a friend that I taught with at Bruno Payette, and she wrote some articles on Mom for the Harrison paper.
Beverly Cochran.
And a magazine called Coming Home, that's a local Harrison magazine. And she called me and said that a lady had contacted her about one of Mother's fiddles in Pennsylvania. And evidently this lady has, she owns an antique store on the square in Harrison. And she had lived in Pennsylvania for a while and gotten to know some people in the estate business. And they had this estate that they were selling, and it had a fiddle in it that was made, they thought it was made in Hensley, Arkansas. And anyway, they contacted this lady, and the lady who owns that they contacted, I think it's either her sister or her daughter, that owned the magazine that my friend had written the article in, and she had read that article. And so she contacted her, who contacted Beverly, who contacted me.
Isn't that something?
And then she asked if we would like to have it, and she told her friend to bid on it for us, and that's how we got it. She offered it to us. So.
That's great.
They come in the strangest ways.
Yeah.
One
Come
guy
back home.
found one in an estate sale, and he called Cedric up at Silver Dollar City, who's a friend of his from Louisiana, and asked him, he said, I want you to tell me whether I got snookered today or not. He said, I bought a fiddle, it's handmade, and he said, does it have a case? He said, yes, it has a case and a bow. He says, does it have the maker's name in it? He said, yes. He said, well, who made it? And he said, well, Violet Hensley. He said, how much did you pay for it? He said, $50. He said, no, you didn't get snookered. You have to hang on to it.
We haven't been able to get any of that cheap, I have to say that.
Oh,
They just
wow.
don't come that cheap to us.
No.
But
Amazing.
But they have come. There's been 5 or 6 of them that have come in such ways as that.
Sandy has
Roundabout.
number 6, Sandy has number 6, Kelvin has number 8, Arjeet has number 25, Russell has number 47, Beatrice has number 50.
Wow.
That's in the family.
And Wonnie gets this one. She gets this one because she's the baby of the family.
can't help it.
So
That's
she
because
gets.
she just quit making them before it was my turn.
Okay, you want to play on a song?
Here you go. I'll
Him,
let you
Angela,
tighten
and
it up.
Baker. Huh?
I'll let you tighten your bow up.
See, what am I gonna play?
Whatever you wanna.
You just play, and if we
Well,
can't keep
I
up,
saw-
we're gonna drop
I
out and let
saw-
you play solo.
I saw a violin teacher. He said it's impossible, just impossible to sing and play the fiddle at the same time. So I said, impossible.
What you say?
Oh, it may be impossible. And we will blessed look in the past thou hast gone, leading straight to the land of above. Giving cheer everywhere to the sad and the lone. Come away every day with love. Come away every day with love. There's a walk to the heavenly love. And we go from afar with the song and the song. Come away every day with love. impossible things. Isn't that possible?
What else would you like to play?
See, now, how about Red Wayne?
Oh,
I gotta get set different. Now,
What's that?
Said she might sing the Black-Eyed Susie.
Oh, yeah, try Black-Eyed Susie.
what?
Black-Eyed Susie. You'll get it. Tell
Yeah, I
me.
gotta get up and I got to get where I can pat my foot. Smell down my feet.
They tried to film her one time on one of the major shows, and her foot kept popping the floor. And they kept saying, "You're gonna have to quit. You can't pat your foot. It's coming through on the microphone." She said, "That foot is gonna pat." They put a pillow under her feet. Okay, play for it.
See, now, where's I gonna-
Black-Eyed Susie.
Falling, creek and fall in the water, I'm in love with Eli's daughter.
Hey, pretty little black-eyed Susie, ho, pretty little black-eyed Susie, hey, pretty little black-eyed Susie, black-eyed Susan Brown.
I can't get it.
You'll get it.
Love my life and love my baby, love my biscuit, soft and gravy. Hey, pretty little black-eyed Susie, oh, pretty little black-eyed Susie, hey, pretty little black-eyed Susie, black-eyed Susan Brown. Some of the shows I've been on?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, mercy.
I've been on so many of them, I can't.
By the book, it's in the book.
It is.
Yes, the first, let's see, I reckon the first time, Jimmy Driftwood found me when we played at Mountain View.
We went to Washington DC and stayed there for a week or 4 days or something like that, and
Yeah, we
played
started,
music at Washington DC.
You know what year that was?
769.
1970.
70, sorry, I missed it a year. Okay, and then Regis and Kathy Lee, and To Tell the Truth with Alex Trebek, and Ralph Emery, and
Captain.
Disney Channel.
Captain Kangaroo, Disney Channel,
Art Linkletter.
Art Linkletter. She met Clint Eastwood. That was cool.
Sandy, did
Yes.
CBS come and interview her at the house?
Yes, PBS came.
Charles
and,
Perrault
Charles Grout.
Yeah,
was there.
Charles Perrault, and, oh, there's been more, but anyway, you get the gist.
What was it, Japanese 60
Yeah,
minutes?
Japan's 60 Minutes came and stayed
Yeah.
a week. And they drove in front of her with the camera pointing out the back window as she went to Silver Dollar City riding in the old school bus that they camped in. And they filmed her as they were going down the highway in front of the bus and filmed them riding in the bus. And then they filmed her at the campsite at Silver Dollar City Campground. And then they came in and played music with her there at,
Remember they had, Adren done parked the bus, my husband, and they wanted him to drive it back up there so they could film it. It made him mad, he didn't like it, but they give us $100 a piece, so he likes it then. Let's back up there and drive it back over that same spot. But he was glad after they give us $100 a piece.
and one other time they had a little kitten and you had it with you too? At the campground?
I don't remember that, I don't remember having the kitten.
One of them had, there was a little kitten there, and they spent about as much time filming that little bitty kitten as they did her.
What is it? She on the episode of the Beverly Hillbillies?
Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had that for sale at Silver Dollar City, those episodes.
And she was in the November 1970 National Geographic.
National Geographic, yes.
Took a
They
ton
came
of
and caught us
pictures.
off guard. That was the funniest thing. Because we were in a temporary house, but they were building us a new house. And we were in this older house in town there at Yellville. It had a cracked cement front porch and, you know, the uprights that held up, you know, they were posts, wooden posts holding up
Yeah,
the
old
seat
porch was all
over the
cracked.
porch. And we were out there just waiting for them to come barefoot.
And
And when they came early and we jumped up to run and get our shoes, and they said, no, you stay just like hillbillies with that crack in that concrete, that old house that we were in, and sitting out there
they wasn't gonna
barefoot.
film my barefoot, but they did.
Yes, yeah, they said they weren't, but they did. And we had some skunks that had been. That kept them enthralled for a while.
Tons of pictures of this.
There were
house.
two skunks that they had liberty to follow around in the yard and film. And they did. We just told them to stay away from the back end.
They were already
Oh, were they
descended
descended by the time they
They were
came?
already
Well,
descended.
believe me, they were not descended when they first came to the house.
She knows.
Yes, I know. I was hit more than once in the eye. You don't ever want to get it in your eye. Turn your head at least.
Yeah, well,
You gotta
burns
be
like
smart
fire.
enough to
Yeah,
stay
she-
away from that end.
They were running loose in the house, and if you
Somebody
happen to come through
accidentally-
the door, they automatically turn around, and boy, if you can't run fast enough.
somebody accidentally left the door open, the screen door open, let them get
And let
away.
them get away. But Dad had bush hogged them.
We had a wide
accident.
variety of pets in our time,
Yes, we did.
a wide variety.
We better let her play another one, because we could take up all night telling you all kinds of funny stories on this woman.
Believe me, they were descended by the time they came in the house.
Yeah.
That's what they were. All right,
Okay.
you wanna play again, Mom?
How much more time do you
We've
have?
got it, well, we've got another half hour.
Oh, no. Ask and you shall receive.
You got time for me to see how fast I can play something.
You'll leave us behind, but go right ahead.
Oh, wait,
I'll get going first.
I ain't doing no gun. I play?
Anybody know the name of it?
Turkey in the straw.
Nope.
No?
Wabash Cannonball?
No.
Ripple Creek.
No. I play all of them, but that wasn't either one.
You're gonna have to tell.
Well, tell us.
Okay, tell her, tell them. They're begging.
Mama's little baby loves short.
Her version.
Our version.
Her version.
Yep.
What?
I said her version.
Your version of shortening bread. Put on the skillet, put on the lid. Mammy's gonna make a little shortening bread. That ain't all she's gonna do. Mammy's gonna make a little coffee too.
Mama's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Mama's little baby loves shortening bread.
Now where are you gonna play?
Let's see, what would I play? Down yonder, you got it.
Down yonder, that's correct.
It is correct. Let's see now. Oh. With a deck of course, I lie my money down. I lie my money down. I gambled over Washington, gambled over Spain. Going back to Georgia to gamble my last day. To gamble my last day. I had not been in Washington many more weeks than 3 when I fell in love with a pretty little girl. She fell in love with me. She took me to her parlor. She cut me with her fan. She whispered, look and listen. Love this young man. I love this young man. Oh, daughter, my dear daughter, how can you treat me so? To leave your dear old mother with the gambler go. Mother, my dear mother, I know I loved you well. The love I have for the country, no human tongue can tell. No human tongue can tell.
That was a Jimmy Driftwood song, wasn't it?
No,
Didn't he sing that one a lot?
where did I get that from?
I don't know. It's older than I am.
She can't see, so
You
her
hear my
her
arm tell
watch
what time
tells
it
her
is?
what time.
7 o'clock.
My watch tells the time on the hour.
How about Orange Blossom Special?
She never got that one.
I never got that one.
That's a good one.
It's one of the few nevers, like riding a bike.
Yeah. She never did that either.
But she's done a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah, sure has.
play instruments?
She asked how many children and how many grandchildren play
Miss Children,
instruments. Well, that would be a tough one, let me see.
You'd have to define play.
That was sorry to say. What do you mean by play? If
We,
you
a lot of
mean,
us piddle.
Okay, how many holding
well,
instruments?
They all hold one.
all of my children, all my grandchildren, all my great-grand can go out and play in the yard.
Sterling went to the.
Sterling?
Starting place.
Show
I've got
them
to-
your jawbone.
I've got two children that play.
See the jawbone she
Yep, there's the
plays?
jawbone.
I got a sign by
It's
Mike
a jawbone
Snyder
of
too.
what?
On the Grand Ole Opry.
Shetland pony.
Shetland pony.
Shetland pony, yes.
Got killed by a big horse that was supposed to have been tamed. And was landed, the owner landed in the hospital where mother was working at the time. And when he got out of the hospital, he found that it had killed his little Shetland pony and
Yeah, this new horse is supposed to be
kept the
nice
bone.
and gentle. Probably what he done when the horse revved up, when you're riding a horse and it revs up, don't stiff yourself straight out from the horse like you're sitting, you lean toward the horse's neck. And he probably didn't do that, so the horse fell backwards with him.
When you overbalance them just like a motorcycle, if you lean backward on it, then it's gonna go over with you.
Mother worked at the hospital at the time and in housekeeping. And we had been playing up at Silver Dollar City, and one of the ball knobbers was working at Silver Dollar City as well, and he was playing a mule's jawbone at the
Chick Allen.
time. And so she had been telling him about that, and about a year later, he brought it in.
Yeah,
That was my instrument. I
That's
used to
what
be
she played.
embarrassed to play that. But it's just
she used to think it's terrible for her to play that, and it wasn't one of the main instruments, but then we got on, made the record, what was the name of the record company?
I know, I
Oh,
can't think of it now.
Coming out to make the record, then she wasn't, they said, oh no, we want that in there. That made her feel better.
Well, it actually did serve to help me buy my first camera.
So there's a purpose to it.
There was.
She thought that was she was a little embarrassed to try to play it, but when they hollered, no, we want that in there.
Well, you know how teenagers are. I still take one.
Everything embarrasses them.
That's
Yeah,
right.
especially a horse's jaw.
Yes.
They'll teach you.
Well, are there any other stories or questions that people have?
I have
Oh,
a
there's a question
question.
right there.
Is the bow horsehair or is it synthetic?
The
The
hair on
bow.
my fiddle bow,
Yeah,
real horsehair,
all right. And you recommend that?
yes, because we bought a bow, one time we bought one for $4, and we put it in, we went through the Arizona with it in the trunk of the car, and the hair was all matted together in one solid piece. It wasn't real hair, it was plastic or just the heat of the car melted it together. Yeah, we used to take the horse, you take this hair from the horse's tail, and you you take a thing like your finger here, tie a knot in the hair there and put it in that thing like that, hang it up on the wall, and tie a knot in the other end of the hair, and you wash that with hot water and soap for a week or two to get all the animal oil out of it, because you could never play the fiddle with animal oil on it.
Then you tie a rock on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Let it dry.
You do that to start with, and pour that hot water and soap on it till you wash all the animal oil out of it, and then you can put it in the bowl.
And why do you have a rock on it? It stretches
Hold it down straight,
and it stretches the hair.
stretches it.
Because the hair is resilient.
Hair will stretch. You don't believe it, get a hair off your head and try to break it across your nose.
Oh, if we left any earlier, we'd have missed that one.
Tried that.
what it does. Just think it's gonna cut your nose off.
She's still got a lot of nuggets in there.
Yeah. So when did she make her last fiddle? Number 74, was it? When was that? What year?
Did I make my last fiddle? When did I make my last fiddle? I got a record of them at home. Well,
Well, let's see, when did you
2007?
quit driving?
when I quit driving the car,
Yeah.
1994.
Yeah, she
When
quit
the
driving
doctor
on
told me I was
foot.
legally blind.
I don't think she quit making them though until
No, I didn't.
2000.
94?
After that, wasn't it?
Did you
Well, I
make
got
one
the record,
after
I got them down in the book at home, but I.
Did you
I don't-
make, did you make one after I moved here from Illinois?
If you know, Chip, I don't know.
I don't remember you making
I don't
one.
remember, but I got them
I
down.
moved here in
I got them all wrote
97.
down in the book at home. I got a full, complete record of them.
Did you have to quit making them because of your eyesight?
Yes.
Yeah. Can't see, if you can't see how, what's in front of you, you can't see them make it.
Yeah. It'd be kind of hard to use a knife if you can't see what you're doing.
Her pins that she makes on her coat after she got so,
Yeah.
those are.
The pins on your coat.
Oh,
She made a lot of these pins and
Oh.
sold them at craft shows and things.
Yes,
So they're
I saw
floating around and people pretty much hang on to them.
Oh, yeah.
I sold a lot of them right off my coat, but I quit selling them because.
Depends on how much they offer you, huh?
She,
Until it got down to the last ones and that didn't make any difference, they didn't get them.
Just
She what?
a short week or two ago, I was in Walmart. Man asked me where I got them pins on my coat. I said, "Where'd you buy them?" I said, "I didn't buy them, I made them." He wanted to buy some for his wife.
she's a really good carver. She carves horses that rear up, buffalo, dogs, a whole slew of different things, and they look very realistic.
Newel posts on those stairways. She's carved those
Oh, yeah, I
before.
made a acorn, a set of
Newel
acorns
post.
for a person's stairway, post on the stairway at Eureka Springs.
Do the daughters, do you know how to make the fiddles? Did you guys learn all the?
You betcha.
Yeah?
You betcha. Ask us, we'll tell you how, and then we'll sit and watch you make them.
Her husband has, my husband has, her daughter has, and my daughter has, and one of my brother's daughters has made fiddles.
Oh, she had to make it because she was going to this special school. What was that school called?
The Arkansas School of Math and Science.
Yeah, and when she was going to be graduating, the guy told her that her thesis, wasn't it?
Well, every student that graduates there has to have a project,
Right.
and they usually select their own project, but her advisor happened to know Mother and said, he kind of told her what her project was.
Said everybody else can pick from this list, but Vicki, this is what you're going to do.
Russell's daughter told Russell, Vicky,
Yeah,
what she
Vicki.
had to do.
Yep, so she made it feel as her
She didn't
thesis.
quite have a choice,
Well,
but I think she enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah, she
Tell us
enjoyed
what
it.
you use for a workbench.
What?
You do all this carving and making fiddles, and tell them where your workbench is.
My workbench and my kitchen table.
It always has been. If you wanted to eat, you had to clean a spot.
It's at the end of the table.
Can you tell us the difference between a fiddle and a violin?
Well, now, there's an old saying, you carry a fiddle in a flour sack and a violin in a fiddle case. It's just a difference in the player. It's one and the same instrument. If you read music and play it as a violin, it's a violin. If you don't, you just, like me, you just fiddle around. It's a one and the same instrument. I had a violinist come up and there at Summit one day, and he made a violin out of my fiddle, and I made a fiddle out of his violin. it's an instrument, it's just the way you play it.
Anybody else have a question?
Do you have a favorite wood that you work with?
Favorite wood?
Yes.
Well, for the back sides and neck, I like maple. And the top, I've made the tops out of spruce, sassafras, buckeye, and basswood, and pine. This one has pine top.
What is your favorite song to play?
My favorite song, well, I guess I sit around in a chair at the house and sing it sometimes. Let me walk, blessed Lord, in the path thou hast gone, leading straight to the land up above. See you. Let me walk, blessed Lord, in the path thou hast gone, leading straight to the land up above. Giving cheer everywhere to the sad and the lone. Fill my way every day with love. Fill my way every day with love. As I walk with the heavenly dove. Let me go all the while with the song and the song. Fill my way every day with love. Now get it right. I sat in a chair at home singing that in my mind, not out. I don't say the word, but you know how you can sing in your mind.
Well, we might want to have a few minutes for her to autograph the books for people who want to buy and get some pictures. And so, thank y'all.
That'll be fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.